Hello, everybody, and welcome to MMA Jefe. Today we are here with a very special guest, ladies and gentlemen, Ulysses the Monster Diaz, who just had his fight at DBX at Mike Perry's promotion and had a great win. So congratulations on that, man.
Thank you very much, brother, and I appreciate the opportunity, man. Thank you
Of
for having me
course,
on.
always, man. How you doing?
Doing great, man. I'm doing great. I feel good.
Yeah.
Coming off the win, and then I worked for BKB. We just came back from Myrtle Beach. Had
Oh,
some
really?
great fights over there as well.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I just had Tyler Goodjohn on as
Nice,
well
that's my
right
guy.
before you. I know you probably know the guy. He was in Miami too
Yeah,
fighting. Yeah.
yeah, that's my guy. That's my
Yeah.
guy. Tyler's my guy, man. I love that guy.
What a beast he is, huh?
Yeah, he is.
You started out boxing, man. How do you feel like now you got into DBX and kind of opened up for a bit more of, elbows and ground and pound stuff like that? How did you manage to get into that game?
Well, they gave me a great opportunity. They called me, gave me a great opportunity, so I jumped on it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. To me, anything you do after bare knuckle, if you're wearing gloves, it's easy.
Mm,
So it was just a a great way to get myself back into the combat sports.
yeah. Yeah, and you shine in that sport for sure, man. That's
Yeah, thank you,
impressive to see, really.
thank you.
Uh, you started out boxing, and when was that? How did you get into it, and why, basically?
So I've been boxing since I was a kid, and then I did
Mm,
amateur boxing as a young man.
yeah.
I was always in a ton of trouble as a kid. I went to juvenile detention centers. I went to
Okay.
prison as a young man.
Yeah.
Always for fighting. And then finally, late in life, I was 35. I was kind of tired of everything I was doing, the life I was living.
Mm,
And I decided, like, you know what? I'm going to try this fighting thing, man.
yeah.
And I had my first professional fight. I won by first round knockout, and it was like the biggest rush of life, man.
Okay.
It was like a drug.
Yeah.
And I just stuck to it, and here I am. Almost 10 years later. I got the fastest knockout in the world.
I was
I've
just
had
about to
great
say.
opportunities. Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
great opportunities. I've got to fight on some of the biggest promotions. I
Yeah.
was a co-main event for Floyd Mayweather 2 times. I fought at
Okay.
the O2 Arena. So, fighting has really saved my life, man.
Yeah. That's amazing to hear, man. Do you feel like a lot of people come from that background and are in bare knuckle boxing? Do they have to like have a hard background, or do you feel there's fighters also who just came from a nice family, or is that kind of the type of guy who fights in bare knuckle?
You know what? You'll meet people from all different stages in life.
Yeah.
Um, just what I think is that if you had a little bit of a harder background,
Mm,
it's just something easier to get into. You've already been fighting on the street,
yeah.
so it's something you just step into a ring and do it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got kids as well, right? With your wife, who's a WWE star.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, I have a 12-year-old son. I had my son before I met her, but
Okay,
she's a great mom to my son.
amazing,
Um,
man.
yeah, yeah, she was with WWE for 12 years, and now she's with TNA Wrestling. She's doing amazing. She's a champion. She's a tag team champion in TNA. She's the world champion in the Australian
Okay,
World Series of Wrestling,
yeah.
and she's the champion in Boca Raton Wrestling. So she's a
Wow,
three-time champ right now. So she's doing amazing.
that's impressive, man. Could you ever see yourself going into wrestling in that kind of? Because I mean, you got the looks, you got the style, and you got the presence for it. You know.
Yeah, you know what? If I get the opportunity, I would love to. But let me tell you, wrestling is very tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very, very tough. I've tried it. I've practiced for it a couple times, and
Mm.
I'd rather get punched in the face. You know what I mean?
I'm sure she doesn't feel like that. You know,
Yeah,
she would
no,
rather do
no.
wrestling, but yeah, that's nice. It's always nice to have opportunities. At least you know you could.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like DBX is gonna be your home now for fighting?
I think so, man.
Mm.
I think I made a good statement on DBX1.
Yeah, you
I
do.
know they're definitely gonna call me back for the next one.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what happens. I'm hoping to be their first, 185 pound or 200-pound champion at DBX.
yeah.
And I'm also hoping to fight Mike Perry.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. I saw you calling him out.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
under his banner, under his promotion, that would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would also be the first owner of a promotion who would be fighting in his own promotion. So that
That's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
you're a big name. He's a big name. I want to see that fight for sure, man.
Yeah.
So I hope we can promote that a bit, maybe, right?
Man, I would love that. It'd be a great fight. He's a legend in the game.
Yeah,
He's a dog. It's not going to be an easy fight, but I would look, I look forward
yeah,
to definitely having a great fight with him if it happens.
yeah, yeah. What is your mindset when you go into a fight? Because, I mean, some people want to stay calm and want to stay low arousal, but some people want to kind of feel like an animal going in there. Is there something you turn on or off when you?
No, man. To me, it's all business.
Mm,
I'm calm. I'm normal. I'm not mad at the other person.
no.
I got my game plan in my head, and I try to stick to my game plan as much as possible. Sometimes it goes out the window, depending on the fight.
Yeah, yeah,
But but most of the time, no. I mean, the
yeah. Okay.
majority of the time, I'm
Has
calm, and I just want to get in
has
there and work.
has it always been like that, or did you kind of evolve through the years?
I've evolved through the years. At
Mm,
first, when I first got in, I had that mentality where you had to be mad at your opponent or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Um, but I couldn't make myself mad at somebody for no reason. You know what I mean? So that never really worked out for me. And I just thought,
No.
like, man, just be cool, be calm,
Yeah,
and handle business.
yeah,
And that's worked out way better for me.
yeah, yeah. You talked about having some trouble in your youth and coming up and went to prison and stuff like that, right? And how do you come out of that and get to where you are now? I mean, what happened for you? What did that change?
So, a lot of people don't make it out of that.
Yeah.
There's the life I was living. There's only two exits, and that's
Mm,
either death or prison.
yeah.
I had already been to prison. In 2016, I got in trouble with the law,
Yeah.
and they wanted to send me back to prison. And I had no idea what to do. So I just started training to fight.
Mm,
I ended up fighting. Like I told you, I took my first fight. I won by knockout, and it
yeah.
became that's it. It became my biggest rush of life. I
Yeah.
dropped everything I was doing. I got to fighting, and that's why I say fighting saved my life. Because
Yeah.
if it wasn't for fighting and me turning my life around and making my life better through fighting, I would be back in prison.
Yeah.
And but everybody saw my life change and me just becoming a better person,
Mm,
and it opened so many doors for me, and it gave me so many opportunities, and it kept me out of prison.
yeah. Does it feel kind of surreal or unreal sometimes?
It does. It
Yeah.
does. It definitely feels like a movie, man. Like
Yeah.
when I tell the story and people are like, "Holy shit, how did that happen?" I'm like, man, it just
Yeah, but I
just me
mean,
staying consistent and staying on doing what I'm doing. It
mm,
happens.
yeah. I mean, do you feel like people, you kind of have to hit the low point in your life before you can take off and do something extraordinary?
I think you know what I think it's definitely um a great motivator for a lot of people. Some people it
Yeah.
doesn't. Some people it sucks you in and then you could never get out of it.
Mm,
Some people they reach the lowest point in their life and they're like, man, if I don't do something now, nothing's ever gonna get done.
yeah.
And I was just like I said, I was tired of my own crap. I was living a life that I wasn't happy with anymore. I was I had my young son at that time. He was 3 years old,
Okay.
and I was like, man, I'm not being a good role model. I'm not being a good father. I need to change this,
Wow.
and thank God I was able to do it, man.
That's a wild story, man. I mean, your kid is going to be insanely proud when I mean, he's 12 now, so he understands. But, when you're grown up and you look back at your father's achievements, I mean, that's something you can only aspire to be. And wow. Just wow,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Could you
no,
ever, could you ever see?
that's one of my biggest motivating factors is him, man. And
Yeah.
just seeing the smile on his face, and after I win, and him in my corner. So, absolutely, you're absolutely right with that.
Yeah. Could you ever see your son going in the same direction as you?
Uh, You know what? I think my son is smarter than me.
Okay,
He's better.
okay.
He's better in school.
Mm,
He has better structure than I did when I was growing up.
yeah,
I definitely, he trains with me, and I will probably put him in a couple amateur fights just so he knows what he's
yeah,
doing. He gets the feel of it.
yeah.
But I think he's too smart to be a professional fighter. I think he has better things in life he could do.
Okay, so but you still like encourage him to train and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely encourage him to train, and I encourage any young kid out there to train because I
Yeah.
feel the more you train and the more you know how to fight, the
Mm,
less likely you are to be a bully,
yeah,
and
I
the
agree.
more likely you are to protect people from bullies if you know what you're doing.
Exactly. I speak for that as well often. I mean, it's a great, great sport for kids and for their minds, and to make them more grounded as a person. I can only recommend it. So I totally agree with that. What about your weight cuttings, by the way? Is that a problem for you ever?
No, so
No.
this last fight I took it at 200 pounds. That's what I walk around at, so I
Oh,
didn't have
that's
to lose any
perfect.
weight. Yeah.
That's perfect.
When I used to fight like at 175, that was tough for me.
Yeah.
185 is still good. I can still make that no problem. But
Yeah.
recently the last couple fights I've had have been at 200, so I haven't really had to cut anything. So I feel great. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been easy.
Okay. How's the life in Miami? I've never been to Miami. I'm thinking of going actually at some point.
Well,
Well,
listen, if you make it down to Miami, make sure you call me. That's number one.
I will do that, brother, for sure.
Miami is a great city, man. I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
I've been around the world.
Mm.
There's no other city like it. There's other beautiful cities across the world, of course, and
Yeah,
beautiful
of
people
course.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But Miami's like no other. Miami's a melting pot of South America and the Caribbean, and
Yeah.
the food, the people, the just the culture, and it's hot here all year round. You could go to the
Yeah.
beach in tan on Christmas, so it's great.
Yeah, that must be wild. I mean, I'm from Denmark, and as you maybe know, this is a very cold part of the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
I'm ginger, so it's sunshine in me. It's not that.
that's true. That's true.
I'll bring my sunscreen for sure, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanna go watch you fight at some time at DBX. I mean, what a promotion, and it's been blowing up like that.
Yeah.
It must be great to be
Yeah.
a part of, the beginning of it.
It is. It is. I feel great being a pioneer of it, being on DBX1.
Yeah.
I was a first fighter after John Jones signed,
Oh,
fighting under Mike Perry. Man, there was so many stars in the crowd, in the audience
yeah,
that day. It was an amazing venue, amazing fight, amazing promotion. And yeah, man, I'm very happy to be a part of the beginning of this. I want to see
yeah.
where it leads to.
It's not bad that John Jones just bought himself in as well, huh?
That's right.
That's
That's right.
opening up even more. How
That's
is it
right.
meeting those guys? Because I know John
Oh,
Jones is a fucking legend.
yeah, man. No, he's the goat, man.
Yeah,
He's the whenever you think about the best fighter in the world, he's at the top of many people's lists.
absolutely, absolutely.
It was amazing meeting him, man. He was actually a great guy. He was very nice to me. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
was it was awesome. He was like it seemed like we knew each other forever when we started talking.
yeah, yeah. If you were to come with any advice for younger fighters coming up, we talked a bit about it, but do you have anything specific you would like to say to younger generations of fighters here?
Yeah, man. What I tell everybody, especially younger fighters, is the key to any type of success is consistency.
Mm,
You have to stay consistent. You
yeah,
have to stay in the gym. At the beginning, you're always going to have more bad days than you are good. But once you make that turn and the days start getting good, you're going to have a lot more good days than you are bad.
yeah,
But you have to work. You have to work. You have to be in there every day. And
yeah.
it takes sacrifice, man. You got to go to sleep early. You got to eat right.
Mm,
You got to train every day. And at the same time that you're doing that, life is still going on. So you're going to have things getting your way.
yeah,
But you gotta overcome it, and consistency is key.
yeah, yeah. Do you do anything to kind of unwind when you're between fights? What do you like to do?
Man, you know what? I'm a full time dad.
Yeah.
I'm a full time husband.
Mm,
I got my family, so anytime I'm with my family, it's really unwinding to me. I
okay.
feel great just hanging out with my family, and
Yeah.
I go on
Cookouts.
vacations. We do, and I'm constantly working because, like I said, I work for BKB also.
Yeah.
We
What
travel all the time.
What do you do for
So
BKB?
I have a podcast with them called Against the Ropes. So if
Oh
anybody
yeah,
wants to
that's
watch
right.
it,
I
yeah.
follow it actually. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Against the Ropes with Claudia Trejos.
yeah,
I also do commentary for them,
yeah.
and I do some on the spot, just interviews and stuff after fights,
Yeah,
post fight, pre fight stuff like that.
that's almost what I do, basically, what you're doing.
Right, right. Exactly, exactly.
But it's nice. I mean, I enjoyed. I enjoyed, and you seem like
I
a
really do too.
yeah, right. And it's nice to talk to people. I mean, if you can do that for a living, who wouldn't want to do that?
Exactly. Yeah, you're
You
absolutely
know.
right. I love talking to people too, and I love getting people's stories of how they got the combat sports. It's all different wild stories you hear.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's almost all the time interesting people that I talk with. So
That's right.
yeah, yeah. What's the? Do you have a date for a next fight? Maybe. Do you even know yet?
So as of right now, I don't have a date.
No.
I'm thinking, that from what I heard, I talked to DBX. They
Mm.
told me either May, June, or July. They're gonna have some fights coming up. I'm
Okay.
trying to get on May and June and July, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. As of right now, we could count on May. I would love to circle back with you in May before the
Yeah.
fight. If it gets announced,
Of
then
course, mate.
let's get out here and tell everybody what's going on.
Would be my pleasure for sure, man. Let's do that. Yeah. So you also been to the BKFC, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
How do
sir.
you feel? Do you like BKFC? Like the style, pure boxing, bare knuckle boxing, or do you like DBX where it's more open?
Well, I was a BKFC. I fought for them 5 times.
Yeah,
You know, I was one of the pioneers there too. For my first fight was in BKFC 10.
yeah. That's where you
Um,
got your 3 second
yeah,
knockout in your
yeah,
debut,
that's right.
right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
was insane, man.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, from BKFC, I went over to BKB.
Yeah.
It was BYB. Now they're BKB.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh, and I fought for them as well. And I work for the company. And as a fighter, I just like working with BKB a lot better, even
yeah,
as a fighter and as now somebody outside of the business.
yeah,
But it's way better. And then once I stepped into DBX, I just used my boxing skills. I started, I've done MMA, so we used a couple elbows here and there. You could do ground and pound, which is
yeah,
actually how I won my fight.
yeah.
And I love it, man. I love it because it's what everybody wants to see. It's MMA with no ground.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's gonna blow up, and as far as I know, BKFC got a little worried actually after it got so good ratings and stuff like that. That's what
I
I've
heard.
heard.
I heard.
Well, that's
Yeah.
cadeau to Mike Perry and John Jones. Is there any like super fight? If you could choose anyone you could fight, who would that be? Besides Mike Perry, because I know you got your eyes on Mike
Yeah.
Perry.
Man, I would love to fight Thiago Alves again. Me and him
Ooh,
had a great fight.
yeah,
He's a legend. I got
yeah.
nothing but respect for him, but I think that'd be a great fight.
Mm.
And if I could go back in history a little bit, let's go back with Mike. I love to fight Mike Tyson, man. He's a legend.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that would be
I, would- I
great,
would
man.
love I would love to have something great against him, man.
Yeah, yeah, he's a beast, man. He's a beast. Is there any like fighter you aspired to be when you came up that you kind of wanted the same style as, or you took from?
Man, in my era when I was coming up, it was Mike Tyson and it was
Yeah,
Evander Holyfield.
yeah,
And I love
wow,
Mike Tyson just because of his story. He was a kid who came from nothing as well.
yeah,
So I always liked that, but I always liked Evander Holyfield's style of fighting.
yeah.
And yeah, I used to aspire to be like those guys, but I became the monster. I got
You
my own
became
style.
your own, yeah, for sure, man. Well, I'm excited to see you watch fight again. Sorry,
Thank you, brother.
and that's gonna be a great one. I just want to say thank you so much for coming, man. I don't want to take too much of your time, so it's still early in Miami, but I hope you will have a great day. And everybody watching and listening, thank you so much. Watch Ulysses Diaz fight soon, hopefully, in DBX, ladies and gentlemen. He's a fucking beast. You can find him on Instagram, you can find him on YouTube, and your podcast. Can you just shout it out again? Your podcast,
It's Against the Ropes. It's
Against the
on. You can find it on the BKB or Claudia Trejo's YouTube page, Against the Ropes.
yeah.
It's my Instagram is Uly_Monster. And man, I want to give you MMA Jefe a huge thank you, brother, and I really, really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you,
And I
man.
hope to come see you in Denmark one day, man. You
You,
come see me in
if you
Miami, I'll go
do,
see you in
make
Denmark.
fucking sure to call me, man, and I will show you around. I
Absolutely,
promise
brother.
you, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the nice words, man, and
Yes, sir.
and talk to you soon. Okay.
Yes, sir. Have a great day, brother.
Have a great day, brother. Bye.